Hello, 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 all of my beautiful Aquarius brothers and sisters out there. I hope you're doing well, my fellow air signs. I don't know, for some reason when people think of an Aquarius, they automatically think of a water sign and don't know or just forget that Aquarius, you are indeed a fellow air sign. I'm a Gemini, so we've got our Gemini, Libras, and our Aquarians. So, yeah. Anyway, and the opposite of our air signs, the other half of us is a fire sign because the air blows fire. So that's an interesting tidbit if you didn't know that already. So Aquarius, your opposite fire sign is Leo. So basically you're a double fixed sign, which can make life a little bit interesting, but you are lovable and part of the tribe. So listen, Aquarians, what's going on? I've stepped away for a few. Needed to take a much needed spiritual break, but I'm back. We are talking about your mid-month energy. So let's see what is going on. First, I really want to say that all of these readings are general energy readings for the whole collective. If you are a Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Aquarius, born January 21st through February 20th, definitely this reading is for you. Excuse me. Ooh. But if you have an anywhere aspect in your chart, other than those placements, then, you definitely could pick up some tidbits from this reading as well. According to Western astrology, I am an Aquarius moon. Okay, so my wisdom and my intuition comes from my Aquarius side of me, and but in Eastern or Vedic astrology, I'm a Capricorn moon. So I don't know. I mean, I think I go a little bit more with the Western influence, but it's all very, very important. The Eastern astrology is where it all started. I have listed in the description box all of my favorite astrologers on YouTube. I love, love, love and watch them religiously. Also, I have listed my favorite numerologists because it all ties in together, guys. It's all, it forms this interwoven, thing that is called divination. Okay, whether you're a tarot reader, a medium, whatever. So, anyway, I think I got distracted. But anyway, the reason why I brought that up is because I want to talk about astrology for a few minutes, if you don't mind, before I start your reading. I religiously watch Jimmy the Tarot Ship. He's an awesome Western astrologer who knows his stuff. He's not only an astrologer, but he is a psychic medium and all that other good stuff. So I love you, Jimmy. Thank you so much for all of the great information that you give to the world. So I was watching him today, and so I'm going to use some of his information. He has a whiteboard when he first comes on, and it lists like the planetary changes and the transits and the sextiles and this and that and the third. The only way for you to really understand it is to watch or to know more about astrology. Watch this channel and some of the other astrologers that I have listed. So this is for March 16th through the 22nd. Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, Mercury conjuncts with North Node. Mercury being the planet for Gemini. I'm a Gemini, and also Virgo, the planet of clear, concise communication, as well as intellectual thought process. We smart, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. So Mercury conjuncts with North Node, and that's where we're all going. We're all going North Node, right? Spiritual growth, learning lessons, just growing as spiritual beings, okay? That's where we want to go, and or we aspire to go. And Wednesday, the 18th, We have a new moon in Pisces. A lot of watery energy going on here, guys, as well as a little bit of fiery energy with Aries. So we have a new moon in Pisces, and you know, with new moons, it's all about new starts, new beginnings, renewal, okay? Cleansing your energy, all right? Cleansing it, purging it, so that you can start fresh, okay? Friday the 20th, Mercury goes direct because it has been retrograde for several weeks now. So it goes direct. So if there's been some unclear thoughts or, you know, unsurety about anything happening, especially if you're a Gemini or a Virgo, or electronics acting weird, whatever, miscommunications, it could definitely be because of that Mercury retrograde. But Mercury's going direct now, which is great. So your thought process will clear up. You'll have some clarity and all that other good stuff. And you're going to say what needs to be said. And then the sun also moves into Aries, okay? And Aries, depending on what part of the month you're born in, you know, is ruled by Mars. So you've got that sun, that Leo energy, very strong. And then you've also got that maybe Mars energy, you know, coming into play with Aries season, okay? So, which, you know, maybe there could be, I don't know, a little volatility since Mars is the planet of war, okay? Maybe there could be some dust up, some blow up. So, you know, Mercury's going direct. Choose your words wisely. Whatever you're thinking does not necessarily need to have to come out of your mouth. And Aquarians, I have been in relationship with 2 Aquarian men, and I will say all air signs pretty much do not have a problem with speaking their piece. Aquarius is a little extra sometimes because they'll say it even if they know it's going to hurt your feelings or maybe just to be hurtful, okay? So don't shoot the messenger, Aquarians. You know you know some of your traits, right? Just like with some of Gemini traits, I know that I fall under, okay? That's also, Friday the 20th is also spring equinox. So it's when spring has sprung. It's here. And we've already started to see signs of that, even though tomorrow morning it's going to be back in the 30s, which I don't understand this bipolar weather, but I digress again. It was just 80 degrees the other day, yesterday, or one of those days. So it's a spring equinox, and the night and the day are going to be equal and balanced. Saturday the 21st, we've got Mars trining with Jupiter. Jupiter is all about, that's that Sagittarius energy, and Jupiter is all about, you know, growing, expansion, spiritual growth process has started. It also could be during the past 10-year cycle that your resolve got tested in some sort of way, Aquarius. Okay, people, places, or things. But, you know, with that Sagittarius energy, you're able to keep yourself as balanced as possible so that you can transcend those trying to test you, or those moments that felt like maybe you couldn't find a resolution. Okay? All right. So it's all about that Sagittarian energy of being, you know, just trying to stay as balanced as possible, because you're a fire sign. Well, fire signs, that Sagittarius energy, you know, can sometimes be a little volatile. So having that conscious intention to stay in moderation and stay as balanced as possible. Man, that was a mouthful. Okay. I don't know. So that really was until the 21st. I didn't see anything for the 22nd. So that's just a little bit, and that's from Jimmy the Tarot Ship. His link is below, and he also has a website called thegreatawakener.com. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate all of your insight. So Whew, let me timestamp that in case you didn't want to sit through all of that. All right, Aquarius. So we got you at 9:52. All right, so Aquarius, how you doing? Hope you're doing well and abundantly blessed. We're going to get into your energy now and for the next few weeks. What does Spirit and your Spirit team want and need you to know? All right. So yeah, okay. I'm saying that because I'm just trying to figure out where to start. And I don't know if I need to start with the Oracle cards first or start, I think I'm going to start here, and then we're going to get into any Oracle messages that are for you. Not only oracles about your general energy, but also a little, I mean a little, because I'm going to do a love reading for you guys about love, relationship, and also finance and career. Okay, so let's get started with, I pulled a few Kipper cards, and Spirit said, yeah, use those, and I can do any clarifications with the tarot deck. So let's see what's happening in your general energy now and over the next few weeks. So the first card that came out for you, Aquarius, is a message of concern. So you might be getting a message that could be concerning to you. All right. And it could be about a main male, a mature male, okay, a mature main male. So a father, a husband, you know, just somebody who you would consider like a main male in the family. All right, somebody who is more mature, or maybe this mature male is getting some, you know, messages of concern about maybe their son or their brother or something like that. And then on the bottom I've got toil and labor. I mean, toil and labor, I mean, I think that speaks for itself. Somebody feels like they're in a state of drudgery right now. Maybe it's a job or a career that feels like toil and labor. Maybe it doesn't pay a whole lot. Maybe it feels like drudgery to you. When I think of toil and labor too, I also, for some reason, I think about incarceration. I don't know why, but I think of incarceration like toil. You toil and labor when you're in jail or when you're incarcerated, you know, breaking up rocks and stuff like that. Anyway, and then I've got gift. So you could be receiving a physical gift, a financial gift, or maybe this could be a spiritual gift for you, Aquarius. And the energy that you don't see at the bottom is this could be a spiritual gift of you growing spiritually with this pathway. You see these butterflies, they designate spiritual growth and ascension. Okay? I love that. And the card adds to an 8, so this is going to take, you know, a commitment. Maybe you're making a commitment to spiritually grow or go down a different path. I've got expectation here. Maybe you have different expectations for yourself, new goals, new intentions. This could also be somebody in your life that is has high expectations for you. Okay, maybe somebody also could be expecting, who knows? But maybe somebody, and I say high expectations for you because sometimes we can put high expectations on the people that we're in relationship with, right? Sometimes the expectation can be a little too high. I've got imprisonment here. Somebody, now this could be really somebody going to jail. And I'm going to show you why I'm saying somebody who's literally going to jail here and has a friend named Ben. Okay, you remember that movie Ben? When the guy had the mouse as a friend? If you don't remember, you're probably way too young, but check it out. So somebody is really going to be imprisoned if you're not already. And I'm saying this because I'm seeing these two cards here as well. Two major arcana cards. I've got judgment, so a judgment could be handed down. You see the handcuffs. Somebody might have the key thrown away here. And I've got justice in reverse. Somebody feeling like there was some sort of injustice here. Maybe that landed somebody or some of you in jail or prison. I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger. Alright, we'll get back to those cards in a few minutes. Oh, courthouse. Courthouse. Legal action. Some sort of legal action here. Wow. Ooh, distant horizons and poverty. Oh, maybe that's why somebody feels like this toil and labor. Like, no matter how much money they make, it doesn't matter because maybe because of this legal situation, you're just going to be working to pay off whatever maybe debt this is, and either pay off the debt and be imprisoned, or maybe this makes you feel like you're in prison, you know, because of the situation. Whoa. Okay. Well, let's see what the tarot has to say about this, Aquarius. All right, these are upside down. Thank you. All right, Holy Spirit. What messages can we glean for our Aquarian collective with these messages that have already made themselves apparent? Holy Spirit, what can we share through the tarot for our Aquarius collective? Please and thank you. All right. What's on the bottom? Page of Pentacles. Maybe somebody having to start over with just a pentacle, right? We saw that poverty, and it may not mean just somebody being in poverty and living on the streets and shit. It can also mean that maybe there's a lot of debt that needs to be repaid, and you feel like you have only a little bit of money, or you feel like you do. What's in the middle? Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, that's fiery energy. Aries, Libra. I'm sorry. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Fiery Queen of Wands, who's very, who might like to assert her power in a way. I don't know why I'm saying that. Like to assert her power as the Queen of Wands. Maybe do it my way or the highway. I don't know why I'm saying that, but let's find out more, Spirit. Can you please, what is this message of concern? I've got the moon. Message of concern. I've got the moon here. The moon being that watery energy, Piscean, Cancerish type of energy. The moon is getting some insight, being tapped into Mother Moon and your intuition. Yeah. This could also be that somebody could be keeping secrets, and maybe that's why there's a message of concern here. What else? Yeah, it could be about a marriage, a connection, about your home. Four of Wands is about, being able to celebrate your sanctuary, your home, where there's peace and, and all that other good stuff, where you feel safe. The fours are, yeah. No, I'm sorry. God, dog. This is a Five of Wands. What am I talking about? This is the Five of Wands. I'm sorry about that. This is about, the fives are about change, and there can't be any, sometimes there can't be change without some sort of upsetting the apple cart, right? Some sort of friction, some sort of fight. Could even be their could even, damn you, Mercury retrograde, could also be about competition. Maybe you're going to learn about some form of competition that could be, or conflict that could be impeding you from reaching your goal. All right, what is this main male? All right, let's, I want to just fold a little bit more. What's this main male energy, Holy Spirit? What's this main male and mature man? Whoa, what the hell am I doing? All right, hold on, guys. Okay, I just want to make sure I don't mix my cards up. All right, so what is this main male energy and mature man energy? Main male. Six of Cups, somebody from the past. A person from the past, a main male. Maybe somebody you grew up with, or, you know, you have, to me, a Six of Cups is something from the past, but it's like a pretty decent connection, a Six of Cups, you know. Could be an old flame. What else that you closed the chapter on? Yeah, an old somebody that the chapter was closed on with this World card. This mature man, what's this about? Feeling overburdened, you know, feeling overburdened here. Exhausted, a point of exhaustion. I'm just trying to figure this out. So it could be a main male from the past that you have ties to. You could be receiving some sort of message of concern about that. Maybe there was some sort of conflict here, and it has something to do with this mature male, this mature man. Ten of Wands. Maybe this main male was overburdening their father, a mature male in their life. Maybe they were overburdening them in some kind of way, you know. What else? Page of Swords. There needs to be some sort of communication here. Page of Swords, to me, that is somebody who maybe they want to express themselves, have a conversation, reveal something. There was this message of concern, reveal something. Alright. What is this about, Spirit? I don't get it. What's going on with Aquarius? This is some weird ass energy. I don't understand. Is anybody understanding what this is? I don't understand this. Alright, toil and labor. What is this? Ten of Pentacles. Working hard, or working hard until you reach your goal. Possibly getting yourself out of maybe some of this, whatever this debt is, or this legal situation. You're going to have to toil and labor until you can reach, you know, you can reach prosperity. You can fulfill whatever this debt is. One more, please, for toil and labor. The High Priestess. More water energy here. Tapped into your intuition, listening to that voice of spirit guiding. This is that divine feminine type of energy. Unlimited potential type of energy. And the Ten of Pentacles is what you're striving for, I believe. And this gift. Yeah, the gift of the Emperor. Aries energy. We're almost in Aries season. There's a lot of Aries energy that will be front and center over the next, I don't know how long. Alright, but this Emperor energy, maybe you're dealing with an Emperor, an Aries. This is somebody who is a leader. Somebody who's respected. Somebody has wisdom. Somebody that is an authority figure. Maybe you're going to get a gift from an authority figure. A boss, a manager. Somebody who exemplifies this Emperor energy. One more for the gift, Spirit. Temperance. We talked about temperance earlier. You being in that temperate energy, that Sagittarius balanced energy. This is for you to know that Spirit is working. Even if you have some legal issues or having to deal with something like this, maybe having to deal with some sort of injustice of some type, for you to stay calm, stay balanced, mind, body, and spirit, while Spirit is working in the background. I love it. And I love that the Sun is right there, and the Sun is the happiest card in the tarot deck. It's about abundance, blessing, fertility. And, fertility, being able to reach whatever blessings and abundance that you're working on, even if you do have a setback. Alright, give me 2 cards for overall Spirit. The Hermit. Virgo energy, taking time to go within, to tap into that High Priestess that you embody, that High Priestess that doesn't make a move unless the intuition or that connection with Spirit is tapped into. Okay, this is going inward and really communing with Spirit. One more for Aquarius. Page of Pentacles. Did we see that before? And we saw the Page of Swords before. We saw it once before. I think it was in one of the cards that you have to rewind. But the Page of Pentacles, maybe having to start over, Aquarius. Starting over just with the one pentacle. Okay, and walking towards a new path, a new, where's that pathway that we saw earlier? Walking towards a new pathway for you. Yeah. And you may, I don't know, are you walking down that path by yourself? It looks like this person's got a bag packed and everything, so I don't know if you're going to be leaving something behind, but definitely go inward and really consult with Spirit about this. Can I have one more about Aquarius, what this is? 5 of Swords, conflict. There's too much conflict here. Whatever this is, whether you're dealing with a job, a relationship, a marriage, a friendship, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is a lot of conflict, not seeing eye to eye, arguing. You don't feel heard, the other person doesn't feel heard. It's like a breakdown of whatever this is. And we also saw this other 5. I can't find it as usual. This has become a burden. Whatever this is has become a burden. Something has become a burden because if there's a conflict. We saw the Five of Wands not too long ago, and the Five of Wands is that conflict, that there could be some form of competition here, whether it's in a relationship, a friendship, a job, something. There's something going on here. There's too much conflict, and I feel that's why you're just going to take your one pentacle, pack your bag, and I think move on. Whoa, move on. All right, so thank you, Spirit, for the tarot. I feel like this is going to resonate with somebody out there in the World Wide Web. This could be definitely somebody from your past. Somebody you're connected to, for sure. Whether it's a relationship, past relationship, a family member, a friendship, something. Okay? Hold on. Had one card fall on the ground. Yeah. Hold on. Had one card fall on the ground, Aquarius, and this is the Death card. Something is or will be put to death, figuratively speaking. All right, this is you saying, okay, this chapter has been written. It's time to move on. Close out this chapter. We saw the World card. Okay, close out this chapter, and once you close and lock that door, you have a death and a rebirth, because you're going to think about what happened and why it happened and all the little nuances, and then you'll start to understand maybe why you went through whatever this is. It made you a better, stronger person, hopefully. Okay. All right. Yeah. Made you a better, stronger person, or will make you a better, stronger person in the long run because of the lessons. If somebody's stressing out this older man, stop it. This could be somebody's father. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. So I feel like some money in this situation has been lost, maybe because of the judicial system. This, it feels like a legal matter to me as well. Look at this. At the bottom, there's the card, Judgment card. There's the Judgment card. Judgment. So either there is going to be a judgment against you, or there's going to be a judgment maybe legal wise against somebody in your energy, Aquarius. If not, then some judgment calls need to be made. This is two signs that Spirit says you need to be in hermit mode. You need to go inward so that you can make any judgment calls using discernment. Okay? All right. So, yeah. So I hope that you get the justice that you need, but for a lot of you, I feel like you feel that this, whatever this is, has felt like an injustice to you. Okay? All right. So what is the tea for our Aquarian brothers and sisters out there, Spirit, now and through the rest of March? All right, where do I start? I don't know. I'm start here. We've got dreams and messages. So maybe we saw that there was somebody's going to receive a message of concern. This could be through a dream as well. Don't ignore the messages or what comes through in a dream, because that's how Spirit communicates as well. Don't ignore that. This could be about a relationship, somebody that you have chemistry with or a passionate relationship with. somebody doesn't have the courage to make a change. Remember, we saw the Page of Pentacles, and that in the Page of Pentacles, that person was holding what looked like a piece of luggage, and they were going somewhere. So, but somebody might feel unsure about this decision to, or maybe they don't feel like they have enough courage to walk away from whatever this is. Whatever this is. People, places, or things. Cracked mirror, projections, reflections. It feels like a twin flame type of scenario where the relationship doesn't work out, or the friendship or whatever this connection is doesn't work out. It could even be a job, because you see yourself in that other person and vice versa. Okay, or whatever this is triggers you, and the mirror gets cracked and you start projecting. Or maybe this is somebody projecting their power over you, like the justice system. Yeah, I've got past, lack, suffering. Past, lack, suffering. Somebody doesn't want to suffer anymore. It really came in the reverse. Somebody doesn't want to suffer anymore. And maybe this is Spirit saying, if you go back to the past, you possibly will suffer. Okay, we saw the Six of Cups here. Somebody from the past. I can attest that I went back to somebody from my past, and it seemed like as soon as I made that decision to go back to the past, that everything went wrong in my life. It's like red pill, blue pill, and Spirit will send you tests sometimes to see where your head's at. What you gonna do? I made an incorrect decision by circling the block, and I have never circled the block before in my life. This is the one and only time that I did. And when I made that decision, everything was going good for me. I was doing great. When I made that decision, all hell broke loose. And I could not stay in that. I stayed in that relationship for a year and almost a year, and I could not do it anymore. I felt like I was literally going backwards. All of the spiritual growth and ascension over the previous years without that person in my life, I felt as if I was literally going backwards, and bad shit started to happen. So, yeah, anyway, yeah. So, but you are, you have to make those decisions for yourself, and that's why Spirit is encouraging you to use discernment by going into hermit mode, okay? What do your ancestors want to tell you? The first card I have is Arcana, and it says, there are two kinds of truth. The truth we keep to ourselves and the truth that we show others. All right, so let that sink in, Aquarius. Only two types of truths. The truths that we keep to ourselves, like secrets. All right, we already saw the moon energy. Secrets, illusions, what we want people to see, but internally we may be totally different. Okay, yeah. So there's a story that's being kept under lock and key, that's being kept secretive, and maybe that's why we saw that somebody once, with the Page of Swords, somebody needs to have a conversation, a truthful, with clarity type of conversation. And then we also saw the moon cards. There's secrets here, illusions. Somebody's not being truthful here. Okay, and then we've got haunted. Are you being haunted, Aquarius? If so, by why or what? Are you haunted by some of your shadows? Are you being haunted by past hurt, trauma, pain? Yeah? But you don't want other people to see or know that part of you. You only want to create an illusion and keep all those shadow sides of yourself secret. Oof. Damn. Wow. Old wound memories create consistent issues. You can only stick a band-aid on a festering wound for so long. At some point, you've got to address those wounds. And if those wounds are trauma, hurt, pain, then guess what? If you're an adult, you're responsible for your own healing, and that's all I got on that one. Kindred. This feels like a kindred spirit. Like I said, this with that mirroring effect, right? That mirroring effect could be a twin flame situation. A kindred spirit, yet a kindred spirit could also mean that we may not necessarily be friends forever or be in love forever or be in some sort of connection forever, but there's a lesson in what we had or have, even if it doesn't last. We were meant to learn these lessons with these kindred spirit type of things, okay? Yeah. And it is a connection that it, goes through time and time again, past type of relationships, past lives. And then we've got perfection. High expectations. Remember we saw that Queen of Wands earlier? And I said, maybe this is somebody who feels like they want to assert their power, like they want to be in control. Maybe you got somebody who wants to be in control of you. Or you want to be in control of somebody. High expectations. We also saw the expectation card in the Kipper deck. Someone having high expectations of you, or you having high expectations of them, Aquarius. And sometimes those high expectations makes a person feel some kind of way, like they cannot make you happy, or you can't, or vice versa. You put too much on the other person. That's probably why we saw that Ten of Wands card, that burden, somebody feeling burdened by those high expectations that maybe some of you have. Okay? Fear of failure. All right, and so those are your, I think that's all, your beloved dead or your ancestral messages. Okay? Hopefully they make sense to you. And angels, what say you? Angels say, yes, someone is not happy right now. Someone is not living their best life. Somebody is not delighted right now. Okay, this is in the reverse. And someone needs to cleanse their energy. We talked about the new moon coming up. This is the time to start fresh, renew your energy, release what doesn't belong there or what feels like a burden, cleanse, and definitely reflect on what you've learned. Okay? And just purifying your spirit. Salt bath, sage. Yeah, so that you can come out of this unhappy, undelighted type of energy to this type of energy towards the sun. Who isn't happy in the sun or looking at the sun, right? Yes, I love it. Also, for you to be the light. When you're happy internally because you've done the work and you have addressed some of that hurt, pain, and trauma, then you're happy just for no reason, and people gravitate towards that. Okay, let's talk about relationship. I've got something might be up in the air as far as relationship wise for you. All right, something might be up in the air. We saw that courage card in reverse. Somebody not feeling strong enough to make the decision right? Not, she's got a bag in her hand, meaning she's leaving something behind, right? So something is up in the air. It's not solid. Somebody doesn't want to struggle anymore. Somebody doesn't want to struggle anymore. And the pieces may no longer fit together. Or maybe there are some missing pieces, or maybe somebody feels scattered because I have been married twice, and and of course, I'm 60 years old, so I've had my share of relationships, but sometimes you feel when you're in a relationship that doesn't feed you or feed your soul or help you grow, you feel like there's missing pieces. And this is in the crossing, and this is very strong energy. Clarifying energy. Cross paths, a mismatch of intentions, clashing perspectives, a journey misled, seeks alignment. Ooh, read that. This card encompasses everything that we've talked about so far. Somebody not being happy. Somebody maybe losing something through a legal system, right? And having to start over again. Somebody losing something in a divorce, or a loss of some sort of money or stability or something here. Okay? I feel like it could be a divorce. Okay? Or if you're not married, the loss of a long-term commitment, which could cost you some sort of money. Some of you could have also really ended up in jail. Okay? So this cross path just was a mismatch, and that's why we saw the Five of Wands and the Five of Swords. Counsel's compass, seek advice to steer judgment. There goes judgment yet again, as insightful talks illuminate your journey. Yeah, because I feel like Aquarius, if you haven't decided already that you want to go towards the light, new pathways. This could mean a new journey for you. Just taking that one pentacle that you have in your bag and having the courage to move forward. And this could be about you getting counseling for yourself, so that you can address some of that trauma, that hurt, that pain, especially that comes, if it's not from childhood or life, then from feeling like I'm a failure because this relationship or this marriage or whatever didn't work out. Playful innocence. You've lost that child inside of you. You've lost that playful innocence, or your relationship lost that playful innocence where, it's just not fun anymore. Envy's turmoil. Maybe somebody was obsessively jealous or envious. Okay, it says obsessed hearts and jealous minds brew a storm of unyielding chaos. So I feel like there was jealousy, envy in this relationship. Yeah. Hard climb. Many issues to deal with, or difficult conversations to be had. Ooh, wow. Damn, Aquarius, I feel for you right now. If you resonate with this energy and you're feeling what I'm talking about, you're going through some things right now. Your spirit team is with you. Your ancestors, your mom, your grandmother. For some reason, when I pick up this card, I just feel like crying. I don't know why. I just feel like this is spirit reminding you that even if you feel like you're by yourself, that you're not, that your mother figure or your mom or your aunt or somebody that you loved comes to visit you or wants you to know that they are there. Okay? And be you. Show yourself an act of love and be authentic and true to yourself. What? Justice. Ooh! Justice. Get out of here. Get out of here. What? Wow. Oh my gosh. Just taking that one pentacle, that one coin, and your suitcase, just being your authentic self, no longer feeling trapped, hurt, pain, not being able to be you, possibly because somebody else wanting to control you being you in some capacity. Your spirit mama says, yeah, justice is coming. Wow, that's crazy. Spirit, I love you so much. Thank you for just showing truth. Like, this is somebody's story, and it can't be all Aquarian story, but damn, this feels like a personal reading. I feel really emotional right now, but it's not about me. It's about you, Aquarius. But I do and have an Aquarius moon. Okay, so, all right, so job-wise, career-wise, Spirit, show us a few messages that you want Aquarius to see. It says, you could have a loss of vision concerning your career, your home, or your money. Maybe you have lost sight of some of these areas of your life. All right, or maybe you've lost the vision of what you're going towards. Sometimes when we're in a relationship or in a marriage, sometimes we can lose sight of certain things that we love, that we want. You know, that's why at 40, you know, I started acting a little bit and being on movie sets. It's something I always wanted to do, but I played it safe, and I was too afraid. I didn't have the courage, and my mom was like, don't do it. So I played it safe, you know, like a lot of people do. Okay. Credit score, you can have it all. Some of you might have a credit score of 760 to 850, platinum level, baby. Good for you, Aquarius. And then I have a credit score of, some of you have very good, between 700 and 759. Because some of you are building assets, okay, for the future, or that is your plan. And we did see the 10 of Pentacles in your reading. That is what you are striving for. A need to get a side hustle. Maybe you might have to get an extra job, especially if you lost something in a court system, okay, or a judgment. Diversify, IRA, buy an IRA, or diversify your stocks, okay. And lastly, I've got your message from the universe, Aquarius. It says, your life is about to start to move quickly in some areas. Events that seem to have been on hold suddenly propel you forward. Move with the flow and be mindful of what needs your attention the most. So if things feel like they haven't been moving or anything like that, they will start to move for you, Aquarius. You will start to move forward. You're not trapped, okay, unless you actually are in jail. But if this is just you not having the courage to jump out there with your one pentacle and your suitcase, knowing that everything's going to be okay, okay, this is Spirit saying it's going to be okay. All right? All right. Thank you so much for joining me. What an interesting read this has been. God bless you. Sending you plenty of supportive blessings and thoughts, Aquarius, to the Aquarians that this really resonated with, or maybe you just got some bits and pieces. But let's all pray for each other. This is what our country needs, and this is what we need to be doing for each other. All right, you guys, no matter what your religion is, it doesn't matter. All right, God bless you guys. Aquarians all the way from the ATL, love you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it.